Bum ba da bum bum ba da bum ba da bum bum ba da bum 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 ba da bum ba ba da ba ba da 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 da. Hey guys. So if you saw earlier, I did I finally got my Jedi Academy stream going, which I really enjoyed playing. Um, it was really fun, and I figured I didn't want to do too much. Like I didn't want to do it all in like one sitting, you know. So I figured I'd pace myself, and I didn't remember like the checkpoints are really spread out. So there was some fresh. I cranked up the difficulty because I was like, oh, it's fine, I can handle this. But the checkpoints are really whew. So, but then I figured, you know what? I want to stream RuneScape again. I want to just hang out because when I play other games, I'm like laser focused in on the game, and it's not so much of a. I don't do it back and forth. I noticed. Like in this game, I'm not. I mean, you can. I'm not really busy with the hands and the focusing, so I can just kind of chat with you guys, see what's up. So I thought I'd do that. I thought I'd jump back in, do a little check on everyone, check how everyone's doing. So yeah, I hope you guys liked the Star Wars stream. It was like I like how it's kind of the how it was supposed to be after Episode 6 is a storyline, right? And Luke's got his Jedi temple, and it's and I guess technically it could fit in the timeline still, but I like it. I like it a lot better. But yeah, it's really fun that you're able to just like use all different force powers. There's good, bad powers. It's a morality system. I realize if you use too many dark powers on a mission, then Kyle Katarn, your Jedi Master, is like comes in and he's like, "Hey, check yourself," which is pretty funny. But he doesn't say anything if you just do light stuff. He's kind of a you know guy. But I guess he was the protagonist of Jedi Outcast, which was a prequel. So I hope everyone liked it. I was really excited to do it today. I really wanted everyone to just kind of get on board. Because it's one of my classic, like, all-time favorite games as well. I have a few all-time favorite games, if you couldn't tell. I'm all about these favorite games. Most things retro that I've played, I'm just, I'm very fond of. I look back fondly. Yeah, to the point where I'm worried that I'm gonna play something at some point and it's just going to be absolute trash, but I'll have remembered it as a good thing, and they'll make me upset. Like I think there's some games I don't want to play again because they're not going to be good, and I know they're not going to be good, but in my mind, they're still good. They're still there. That childhood love is still there. It keeps me breathing. Like the NES games, like TMNT. They actually came out with was it like a bundle of all the TMNT games? It was like 13 games or something. It's crazy. But I was like, I can't play it again. I can't play it again. It'll ruin my experience. I know it's hard, I know those games are hard. So, you know, child me rocked through them and has a bunch of like good memories with those games. Not want to ruin it now, you know? Just leave them in your memory. Some things are just better left one and done. Sad but true. Can't go back to the same well. You know what's cool? There's actually like words in the English language and other languages that have very abstract meanings. Like, there's one, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, called Hyreth, and its meaning is to long for a home that no longer exists. Like, specifically, you're longing for something or someone, some place that no longer exists. And that is a word you can have. And no one will understand what you mean. Even, you know, native English speakers will be like, what did you just say? Did you insult me? You know? Punch you in the throat. But it's a real word. And it means, you know, it's got a real meaning. And I like it when words are, you know, express that kind of vagueness of just how people think and feel, you know? It kind of reminds me that, you know, everybody has a time when they feel that way, right? Like, you miss your childhood home. You miss the way things were, the simplicity, right? But that situation, that it's gone, right? And you gotta pull yourself up by the bootstraps and move on, right? Which it's sad, but I mean, it also means that there's more that you can explore in life, right? Sorry, that's a tangent. That's a tangent and a half, and not a great one. So, who's played Lethal Company? Who's gotten their boots dirty in Lethal Company? I watched a video about, you know, I was curious. Because it's all done by one guy, right? One guy did all the Lethal Company shenanigans, put it all together. And so I was like, I wonder if this one guy put an Easter egg or something in the game, right? So I had to look it up. And there are pilot logs on every one of the moons. And there's backstory, right? There's, for a game that on the surface is just pretty repetitive, it's got some pretty interesting lore, you know? And I wish it'll stay relevant, because it looks like there's still going to be more stuff revealed. I don't know if it will stay relevant, because it's kind of the surface repetitive nature of it. It's fun, but how long is it going to stay fun, right? How long before it falls out of the top creator played games, right? But it looks like he's got some good ideas for how the game could develop a story and could progress. It does have a story, again, if you are willing to look at it, to the point where there are actually commands that you can put in the terminal that are story prompts that will tell you things that you know, otherwise you'd totally just glaze over, not realize. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah, there's stuff you can put, commands you can put in the computer that kind of make you do a double take, which is interesting. Yeah, there's quite a few Easter eggs. I like it. Not quite a few. There's some Easter eggs. Oh, I leveled up my tree smacking ability. Time to smack them down. Them trees. Smack them like a Polaroid. I also earlier played the festival mode on Fork Knife. I don't know if anyone got around to trying that. Because I was just kind of curious what... Like, is it just Guitar Hero? Is it more than Guitar Hero? Is it, you know, what's going on? To satiate all your curiosities, it is essentially Guitar Hero. At its core, it is just Guitar Hero. And there's like a few songs that looks like there's a rotation of free-to-play songs. And other than that, you either have to buy the songs from the shop or there's some that come in the battle pass. But it's interesting because I'd say it's closer to Rock Band than Guitar Hero because you've got one person doing their drums, one person's on bass, one person's on lead, and one person's on vocals. So it's cool because like I did Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes, and I was on lead, and for the first like 20 seconds, there's you know, it's all drums, right? So it was just like, do you want to emote? Because you're just doing nothing. Here, have this time to emote and do stupid stuff while your other people play. Yeah, I haven't tried Fortnite Racing yet. I think it's pretty much what the title says. It's Fortnite Racing. But yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm not feeling it too much. I can only handle these other modes in increments, you know? It just feels like there's... I don't know. I do like the Battle Royale still, so that's good. I don't think I'll ever get sick of that. I do especially like beating up Peter Griffin. And his little phrases. We were doing one round and we couldn't find him because he was like stuck in a corner. And all you could hear was like his little laugh. And he was just like, we killed all his lackeys. But we could not find him and we couldn't get him to come out of this corner. And you just hear him like snickering behind a wall. So we ended up having to break down this like fortified wall to get to him. And it was just like, oh my goodness, and just laughing the whole time. It was ridiculous. I wonder if outside of the regular, like... I mean, there's a lot going on in Fortnite right now. So, maybe this is a lot to ask. But I wonder if there are Easter eggs and stuff in Fortnite. And I'm not talking like find the gnome, you know, ones, but actual like proper secret Easter eggs, you know? It would be cool. It would be cool if like, I don't even know what they do or where they do it, right? But it would be cool. I think it would be found really quickly. I think it would be found very quickly. Because how many people got playing that game? Millions. Millions and millions of people play that game. Yeah, in Lego Fortnite, they added some, you know, random chance events that happen. Which is cool. It's neat. But already I've seen that, like, it's kind of tapered off in that, you know, there were so many people playing it on the day it launched, right? And the numbers drop is, I guess, I mean, I don't know if it's more than expected, but it's significant. Like, I think some people saw it and they were like, cool, I'll try this. Did it for, a couple, in-game days, and then just kind of, well, that's that, move on back to Battle Royale. What's this dude doing? Just standing here with a lantern? Being creepy? Alright. You do you. You do you, guy. No judge. No judge, no judge. Yeah, there's there's so much. There's so much. And honestly, there's so many games that I want to play and I want to get into. But I'm like, God, what do my time, Can I do it? Can I have like 8-hour streams every day, all day? Can I make that like a thing? Not with, not with 2 people watching my videos, I can't. Which still throws me. Like, the fact that one blew up so much and I have no idea what I was doing differently or what I was doing at all that was different. Like, I think it wasn't even the Dragon Slayer one, I swear. It was just like a barbarian training one. And I was just chilling and talking about games and killing barbarians, it wasn't, I don't know. Something about it hit people in a way that none of my other streams have. But the numbers were just crazy. Which is, it's cool because I've never done this before. So to see the numbers just like skyrocket like that is interesting. Makes me curious. Yeah, I'd want to get some people together to play Among Us or Goose Goose Duck or something like a big collab game. That would be so fun. It would be awesome. I have no idea how that would work. But man, to play Among Us. To play Among Us again. That's the dream. Isn't that the dream? Don't you guys miss Among Us? Yeah, I saw. So, I made a Twitter when I made this account. And I don't use Twitter, so I'm kind of like flailing in the mud here as I try and figure this out. But what I saw on Twitter, because I just followed some streamers, some big names, to just kind of say that I'm existing, right? I'm existing in their sphere. They're existing in my sphere. I'm the main character. So I opened Twitter to post a going live notification, and I saw that there was a thing. What? I got my wood. That's done. I got my thing from the first post that was on my feed was something from Jacksepticeye saying he was the nice list champion this year. And so, to be fair, I don't really know what that means. But immediately, I jumped on it and I was like, comment, which I don't know. I'm not a Twitter pro, but I was like, reply, Jacksepticeye, like, who says you're the nice list champion? Like, who's to say that you're the best? Oh, mysterious old man. Yeah, thanks for the money. What makes you better than the rest of us, Jack? I mean, I saw they did thing. He's a great guy, don't get me wrong. But it was just kind of funny to... This is totally new ground for me. This whole... I've never, you know... So it's cool. I like it. I like that, I like that people come in here and they're like wanting to hang out and they're wanting to talk and they're wanting to talk about things, right? It reminds me of days when, you know, me and my buddies, we'd go drinking and then we'd go to whoever's house was closest and we'd just play zombies on Call of Duty for, you know, till 3, 4 in the morning. And just like talk about random shit, right? And that's kind of the equivalent of this once, you know, once you get a good group going that just, you know, people just want to talk about their day. People just want to talk. And it's cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, if you can't tell from my like constant talking, I enjoy just kind of getting my thoughts out there and hearing other people's thoughts too, you know? I'm very... what's the word? I'm a mix of an introvert and an extrovert. And a lot of people say that, but I mean it more. I mean it more than other people. In that, I am totally down to just sit here and play RuneScape for hours, right? But if an extrovert finds me, takes me to a party, you know, I will open up and talk to people and probably overshare for people I've just met, you know. And that's just who I am. That's totally who I am, right? And either I make a really good friend right away, or I never hear from that person again, and those are the only two extremes. It's just like, oh yeah, let me tell you about my high school trauma over this, you know, conversation that we're having at a backyard barbecue. And I wish that wasn't a true story. But yeah. Yeah. I just love the medium of games as like a way to connect with people, right? And it tells me a lot about you, how you act in a video game. It kind of betrays you a bit in that it kind of leads me to believe there's a part of you that thinks those things and acts that way in... a part of you that wants to act that way in real life. I'm not saying that... keep in mind, I'm not saying, you know, terrible things. You know, if you chose the dark side of the Force, that doesn't mean you're a terrible person. You know? It doesn't mean you want to force choke people. But I'm just saying, you know, there's... clearly, well, not clearly, I think there's a correlation there where, like, maybe if you all went full dark side, maybe you've just got some stuff, you know, maybe you're not as nice and sweet as you seem, you know? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Maybe you're sneakily like a scary person. That's my theory. That's my theory. And it doesn't even have to be like bad stuff. Like GTA. And, you know, the RP servers where it's like, oh, you join, you know, you're drug running or whatever. I mean, okay, that's illegal. Don't do it IRL. But in terms of like, on a scale of terrible to not terrible, that's very low, right? Personal opinion, right? There, you could think of so many things that are worse than that, right? Yeah, Red Dead is a really good redemption. Okay, starting that over. Red Dead is a really good redemption. Red Dead Redemption is a game that is just chock full of secrets. It's got secrets on top of secrets. It's got so many secrets. I don't think all the secrets have been found yet. And I'm fairly certain the devs are just refusing to say regarding one big secret. And I have a feeling, I have a sneaking suspicion that it's, everyone's kind of said there's no way, you know, it doesn't exist, blah blah blah. I'm thinking it does. Is so in Red Dead Redemption 2, if you're not familiar with it, by the way, it's, you know, a cowboy. Oh, it's a cowboy open world game. Okay. Think Breath of the Wild for cowboys in the Wild West. Anyway, so there are posters for a missing girl. Okay, and they're old, they're tattered, and it's, you know, you can recognize her by the birthmark she's got in her face. Big reward if you find her, it's great. The issue is, no one has any idea how to find her. No one's been able to find her. The double issue is that there have been data miners and people that have like looked in the game, and because she's been missing in game, she's been missing for something like 9 years. The data miners have found an adult model for the character in the logs of the game. So she exists. They made an avatar for her. Like she's there. But then everyone says, that's where everyone stops and they're like, oh, but we haven't been able to find. She doesn't exist in the game. We haven't been able to find her. Like, that's it. We've been searching for years. Time to call it, guys. Dial it in. Is this dude following me? And no one's been able to find her. But I have not found her either. What do you want? Hold on. What? Well, that's pretty sick. Okay, alright, alright. Sorry, sidebar that for a sec. Some rando just gave me $500,000? What? Forgot some. Who are you? What? Who are you? Green looks better. Green looks better. What does that mean? Green looks better than what? Who are you? DY2. I don't know who you are, DY2. Who? What? Green looks better. What does that mean? Okay, now we've got a real RuneScape mystery. Why did someone just gift me $1 million? Green looks better? Then what? Who are you? DY the second. DY2. What? What does it mean? What are these secrets? DY2. There is another person watching the video right now. If that's you, DY2, thank you. That's crazy. I appreciate it. Wow, thank you for that. I'm just doing some fishing. That's crazy. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. That's a lot of money to just hand out. I hope you save some for yourself. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Okay, that's impressive. Wow. Okay. Coming back to it. Sorry I went on that little rant there, guys. Yeah. DY2. Hi. Hi. TY for the money. What is he doing? What? Dude. Red's better? Then what? What is he talking about? What? I'm worried. DY, if you're watching, if you're watching me live right now, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm worried that like people are gonna see that and be like, "Wow, they're botting or whatever that whatever the thing is." What? Why? What is red better than? What is green better than? Don't give me more money. Don't do it. I don't need more. What are these colors? DY. The numbers, Mason. Another 500K? Uh, red looks better, green looks better. I'm gonna be honest, DY. I have zero idea what you are referring to. Thanks. Wow. The numbers. Watch out for the numbers. The numbers. What do you want? That's cool. I mean, the numbers, Mason. On my name? What is this? Shh. What is he talking about? Sherman. I found some sheep in here. Well, okay, I don't. Okay. Numbers. Okay, okay, okay. What? You must be quite rich. This is so weird. I don't know. I only got a little. Okay, you just gave me $2 million. What are you talking about? You only got a little. Is not a little. That hurt me, bank. I gave you 0.03% of my wealth. Wow. Why me? Because green is it. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? There's something here I'm missing. It's just going right over my head. I have no idea. But blue? Why you no member? No money for it yet. Do not speak about it. Okay, sorry, color man. What is happening? I want agreed. Red is best. Not best, better. Okay, alright, I agree. Wasn't expecting that. Are you a fisherman? NP color man. Well, that happened. I don't know what to do with. Oh, yeah. I'll teach you. All right, we're doing this. We're doing this. I cannot take this for free. Shut up. Shut up. You're not giving me $1 bajillion. It's not even the good pull. Teach a man to fish and he'll never go hungry. Alright, let's drop. Premium. Handed down for generations. What is this? What has happened to this? This was just going to be a cool stream. My family honors you. Oh, not there. Light blue part. Here. Sorry, man. Sorry, man. I know that's a sore, a sore spot. What is happening? We cool? I'll make us an orange fire. Oh. Fishing pole broke. I'll make a fire like your hair. Not your thing? Here. Okay. Have a fish. A humble trout. May you eat well. What is... Oh, what? The dude just gave me $2.5 million and then took a trout. What is this game, man? What is this game? I was so confused, I didn't even fill my whole quota of fishes. What? What? What was that? Those are the interactions that I friggin'... I mean, they're so funny, and it's so great, because people create their own random events, right? Like, who is he? Where did he come from? Where did he go, you know? I have no idea. Why did he care so much about colors? Why was he anti-blue? What is going on, you know? I've got so many questions. I think if I hadn't given him the fishing rod, that would have been the end of our discussion. But giving him that fishing rod gave me an extra, like, 500. That's... That's insane. No, that is legitimately insane. Oh, who just followed me? Hello. Thank you for the follow. Was that you, by chance, in my fishing stream? Are you DY2 by chance? And if so, how'd you find me? And I appreciate it. Never. All right, I'll believe you. I will believe you. But I appreciate the generosity of that whoever that stranger was that just showed up. I appreciate you following me more. So thank you for that. I was literally just, what was I talking about before this all happened? I don't even know. I was... My conversation just went way off kilter whenever the other guy You're a blue guy. We don't talk about that. We're not allowed. Our sponsor doesn't let us talk about that color in this stream. Oh, you are him. You are him. This guy is you. This guy. No, my sponsor doesn't like me talking about a certain color in the stream, so we're not going to discuss it any further, as per my sponsor's wishes. That's cool, bro. I'm glad that you are just one of the richest players of RuneScape ever. Taught you well. Yeah. I'll honestly make that a panel. Just, we do not use that word in this stream. Alright? Due to our RuneScape sponsors, we will no longer be discussing it. That's funny. I appreciate that. That's funny. You should see. Alright, man. Have fun. Have a good night. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for stopping by in-game. Ridiculous. I love it. I love it. So cool. People are so chill. That's the kind of fun that I like seeing. Enjoy the GPU. I will. What I use it for, I don't know. I might actually buy a bond with it. I might go to Membersville and show everyone what that's like. Because I talk about it on stream a lot, but I haven't actually gone there outside of, when I was a younger lad. So I might start saving for bonds like an adult. I need to pick up my tangent. You're right. I'm going to okay. So when I upload this, like when I upload any of my stuff to YouTube, I have to pick out a name for it, and this one's just going to be Casual Fishing Stream Interrupted by Crazy Rich Elon Musk. That's what I'm gonna do. RuneScape Elon Musk comes in to say words. Sponsors this RuneScape stream. No, fishing stream sponsored by Colorman. And his amazing color wheel. Anyway, what we were talking about was Red Dead Redemption. Guy, you threw me for a loop here, so I gotta get my brain back on off track. But if you're just joining me, if you're just watching the VOD, I just got gifted like $2.5 bajillion from someone in stream in-game currency, not real life currency. That would be too much to handle. I don't know what I'd do with that. Which was very generous of them. Very cool. But yeah, so if you want to see that, like I was just saying, I post everything to YouTube when I'm done. Oh no, who's getting Evil Bob? So if you want to see the VOD, it'll probably be on Twitch for... I mean, Twitch deletes things I notice after like X amount of days. I think it's like 10 or 7 days or so. So I've got a YouTube that I moved everything to. I'll probably have to rebrand it because some of the stuff that I'm using as icons and stuff, like Shaggy, and then my YouTube channel, I've got the reboot symbol, and I'm worried that they're gonna like, not that I'm ever gonna get that big, but if I got that big, then they're gonna come at me with like copyright law, and it'd be sad. But I don't know if my streams will get that popular, except for that one, which is ironic. I didn't even cook this fish. Hang on. We're going to have a fire right here in the bank. Right in front of this bank teller. Oh, you can't light a fire inside. Dang. Well, we'll light a fire here. Right under your patoozie. So yeah, I put the videos up on a YouTube channel after the fact. So if you guys want to go back and look at them, there's some fun ones. There's one where I was trying to give stuff out to other people. Like, I was trying to give money to other people. And a lot of them refused to take any money. It wasn't that kind of money. Like, it wasn't like this guy just gave me a lot of money, but it was like 50 grand to you. Here's a full Addy set, right? Like I was doing some Christmas gifting, which maybe that's what I'll use the money for actually. And so many people were like, no, don't trade me. I don't want it. What's going on? What are you doing? Like, I don't think I got out more than 3 gifts before it just became so irksome. I kind of abandoned the endeavor altogether because so many people just don't trust. There's just no trust. It's just nothing. So it's, you know, it's fine. It was just a lot of people. I wanted to make sure it wasn't like bots or anything. So I kind of picked out who I was going to gift. And there were a couple people. They were like genuinely like cool to talk to, and they would like answer me, which was, you know, prerequisite for them getting my gifts. But yeah, there were some people. It seems like there's almost a new generation of people playing this game, which is really cool. Because of the 3 or 4 people that actually took the gifts, 2 of them were just like, hey, I'm just getting into this. I'm just learning the ropes. Do you have any advice? Like, what's going on, you know? And that's pretty cool. Because I think we need more people playing this game. But anyway, so if you were here before my tangent, before I was thrown off, I was talking about the secrets in Red Dead Redemption 2. And how there is posters everywhere for this missing princess, okay? And the posters are old, they're tattered, and it's her as a kid, and she's got like a birthmark on her face, whatever. And data miners were able to find a model of her as an adult in the game files, right? So the devs made a model of her in the game files. But then that's where it gets tricky, because then all the data miners and all the people are like, well, but you know what? It's not in the game. It's not in the game. Can't find it. It's not in the game. Don't bother. We're done. The game's been out for so long. We're done. She's definitely not in the game anywhere. But Red Dead Redemption 2 has hid some crazy secrets, okay? And I would not be surprised. I would be thrilled if this was one of those cases where it's like, it's a secret for 7 years until someone stumbles onto it and she's out there somewhere. And it's just like, it's kind of like the vampire. And if you don't know about the vampire, shut your ear holes. But there's no quest, there's no direct quest that says there's a vampire in the game, Red Dead Redemption 2. Because why would there be? Why would there be a vampire? What would lead you to believe there's a vampire in a Wild West open world game? But there is, right? And there's no quest for it. It's just kind of like, if you follow the right set of clues and are observant enough, you're going to find this vampire feasting on human. And then you either get the choice to, where'd my wood go? You have to kill him, you know? And it's more of an event once you find him. It's more of like a, well done, you did this kind of thing, right? But there's no like quest line for it. Yay, fire making. There's nothing that's like, oh man, there's a vampire sucking blood. It's just, it's more that if you look at some of the notebooks and like there's some drawings around town, around the various towns, and you kind of have to put the clues together yourself, like it doesn't hold your hand. And so when people say that there's no princess in the game because there's no quest line that says that, and there's no quest line to guide you there, they did the exact same thing with the vampire, and he's in the game, okay? Let's keep that in mind. So is that weird, like, Frankenstein monster. And those are the big ones. So is the entire HD remastered set of Time Splitters, which never got released as its own game, by the way. because I love Time Splitters. I love it. And for some reason, in the Wild West, you can go to an arcade machine and play Time Splitters. And it's completely remastered. It's all like new. And this is a game that I know I was wanting remastered for so long. Like I played it on the GameCube, right? And it's such a good like satirical James Bond GoldenEye-esque game. But it's never had a remake. And so you either play it with like bleh graphics on an emulator, or on Red Dead Redemption you get the whole thing, the entirety of the game, fit into this arcade cabinet that's just in Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, why would they do that? Who's in charge of that? Why would they not just re-release Time Splitters? Those were awesome games. Awesome games. I don't know what happened there, but I maintain my own conspiracy theory about the Red Dead Redemption universe is that there is 100% that Princess is out there, and that she is, she exists as, a hidden Easter egg. Say what you will, but she 100% exists. And I'm right. There's no pretending here. Like that's so crazy. Or yeah, so another good one, like Easter, now that we're just on this topic of Easter eggs in games, right? Another good one is so if you ever played Control, it's Rocksteady, it's insane. It's kind of like they got the idea from, I don't know if they got the idea, but it's kind of like an SCP world, right? So Control is all about that. And it's all about the weird and wonky stuff, okay? And there's an expansion that ties in Alan Wake, okay? Which is, awesome in itself, right? It ties those universes together. That Control actually had a hand in the Alan Wake world, and vice versa, right? But then, people, and I'm sure there's more to it, but then someone found that there's a part in the game where you're running through a maze and you're listening to like this heavy metal music, right? And it's a shifting maze and you've got to like stay on your toes, and it's kind of cool. But this heavy metal music is playing the whole time, right? Because you're listening to a Walkman, long story. But someone found out that if you play it backwards, play the lyrics backwards, and it gives you instructions on things to hit, places to go. And if you do that, but every time you do that, there's no indicator that you did it right. So you're just kind of doing things, right? And if you did it right, again, how people found this, no idea. If you did it right, a secret door opens. It's not a secret door, you can see it the whole time. In this little like weird kind of nexus area is what we'll call it, where you can't go through any of the other doors, but it says that these other doors go to other like strange places, and you usually aren't able to see what's behind any of the other doors. But if you do this like Easter egg the right way, which again there's no quest line for, it's just like you have to kind of read between the lines and figure it out. And Control's been out since what, 2019, 2020? I'd have to look it up, but if you do that, you actually get a whole voice memo talking about the characters of Alan Wake and basically setting up Alan Wake 2. I did not cook these damn fish again. And it's crazy. It's one of those things that's kind of like the people who found them, who found these Easter eggs. I hope they're doing okay, because to just kind of be randomly like sitting there one day being like, this heavy metal must mean something. Let's put it in a backwards machine and see if it makes more sense then. You know, like there's who's doing that? Who's doing that? I love them for doing that because it revealed something that, you know, I would not have found on my own. But I mean, hey, wow, dedication to the craft. Like, you must really love the Rocksteady multiverse universe, I guess. Like, that's insane. Yeah, control itself is insane. There's another pseudo secret where control is basically like, it's all nuanced. It's all kind of between the lines. And so there's one thing that you get a lot of reports about the SCPs and kind of creatures that are being, you know, held at this place. And you get reports learning about them, and they're kind of littered about everywhere. And there's one mention. It's one mention. It's the funniest thing. So when I did this, I didn't read it. I just accidentally happened to shoot a vending machine, and it happened to be one of the right ones. But there's one mention, I guess, in one of the reports that says some of the vending machines are actually just like mimics, essentially, disguised as vending machines, and they won't aggro, they won't attack you. But if you shoot them, they'll suddenly come to life and have a meltdown and just like freak out, and it just is crazy. And so I think I was just going around and I was screwing around, and I changed my gun or something, and I shot a bullet and it hit this vending machine, and I was like, I was surprised that it just suddenly comes to life and just starts bouncing off down the hallway and turns all red and creepy. And I'm just like, what just happened? And like, what? But it's just weird things, just weird things. Life in RuneScape is good. Truth. Yeah, it's so funny. It's yeah, it's one of those games that I feel like you either take a lot out of it, Control, you either take a lot out of it, or you play it on the surface level and just kind of, wow, cool, okay. Because there's things that are, you can read between the lines, and it's a lot more in depth than, you know, you think. So for example, there's basically for the entirety of the game, you're in contact with these things called, they call themselves the Bureau, and you can't see that, I just made quotes in the air. And basically they are alien god things and control, they control mankind or whatever, they control the Bureau of Control. But then there's a point in the game where you actually get down to basically the roots of the building, and there's all these hieroglyphs from cavemen, and you know, it looks like, you know, man's been there since, you know, the dawn of time. They've been around this building that morphs around them, and it's really cool. And then there's like hieroglyphs of the Bureau having been there since the dawn of man and controlling them, right? And you could just walk right by it and be like, okay, so they've been here since the beginning. Cool. That's good. That's a little lore, you know, cool. But if you look at it, And I think there's like an inspect button. By the way, I don't know who cares about this kind of stuff, but I find it interesting. So there, there's an inspect button, and if you inspect it, it says something along the lines of, even though these were intended to look old, these are not hieroglyphs. It's something like it basically tells you they're fake. They're fake hieroglyphs. And what that means is that these aliens that have, told you the whole time that they've basically been guiding mankind since the dawn of time, turns out there may not be true. And there are other hints to that as well throughout the game. But it's like they want you to, they're on your side for most of it until you start asking questions, right? And at one point you find an ex-board member who's been like locked in a fridge. And I know it sounds stupid. Stay with me. And you have to go fight him because the board wants you to kill him. And as you're fighting him, he straight up tells you, he's like, you're being lied to. You need to like pay attention because they're screwing with you and you need to like actually fight back. And it's interesting. It's a big either you get it moment or you play the game kind of with one eye closed because you're missing out on on the actual subtext of the story, the real story under the story, right? Which is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. It's a deep dive, right? It's like, because me, I love lore. Give me lore about everything. Give me lore about Fortnite, right? I know there is some. I know there is. I don't know what it is yet. I'll probably Google it later. Give me lore about every game. I want to know why the things are happening. What is the story there, right? I always find it so interesting. To me, it's like reading a book, right? And then, you learn, and then suddenly you learn something you shouldn't have, or some kind of forbidden knowledge, right? And do you let the person know that they're lying to you? It's this big thing. I love it. It's this big thing. I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, there's Easter eggs like that all over the place. Yeah, Control can get really sad. Control has some super, super sad moments. If you haven't played it, I mean, go play it. But it has, like, it's sad in terms of, like, I don't know what example you're thinking of, but for me, what was sad was a very optional train car activity in one of the expansions. Because there's 2 different expansions. And holy, there's one of them is basically just adding more. It just adds a new wing to the building that has just more interesting and wild SCPs, like the moon landing. But I guess the game's been out for years now, so I don't feel bad saying it. But there's a train car, and the whole point of this train car is anyone who enters the train car is forced to like relive it. They're forced to basically live the time it crashed over and over and over. And so what happens is you get inside this train car and you can't leave, and it's just like it goes through the sounds of basically everybody in their last moments before this train car crashed. And you've got like a businessman, you've got kids, you've got And in order to get out, there's different items on the different tables, like on the different train car, on the different, carts, whatever, passenger areas, right? And so what happens is you have to listen to the audio, which is harrowing, right? It's everybody like crying and screaming before the train car crashes. And then you have to basically click on interact with the items on the table in order. Like there's a briefcase and there's a fedora and there's like a stroller and a couple other things. But it's like every time you click on the one thing that interacts with that person, it kind of cues out their voice line from the whole interaction. So you have to listen to them again. And it doesn't tell you how to solve it, but in order to solve it, you basically have to interact with them in the order that they were killed in the train crash. And then every time you fuck up, you have to listen to it all over again. And oh man, it's super sad. It's super sad. It sounds so sad. That was a big moment, because basically what they do, I know it doesn't sound that bad, guys. I know it doesn't sound that bad, but like they get you very emotionally invested so that by the time you get to this train car, you're very like vulnerable. And this whole expansion is about that. The whole expansion is about your like humanity, right? And so it really messes with your mind, which is fun. So by the time you get to the train car, you're like, I don't want to be fucked with anymore. Please stop, right? And then it hits you with this like suddenly, terrible situation. And it just by itself would not be that bad. But because of everything that's happened to you up to that point, it kind of drills it home. And it's pretty significant. But that being said, it's optional. You can actually complete the expansion without doing the train car. Yeah, there's a lot of like there's a lot of strange kind of like creepypasta moments in Control. Like one of the ones right off the bat is we have to go find the carousel horse, because the carousel horse got off the carousel and now it's running around and it's running really fast. It's so fast it's hard to catch, right? And now it's just running around the facility. Which you're like, okay, guess we better do that. Or another one that's on the surface, super weird, like super calm and chill. But if you look at it, if you actually like dig into the lore, is actually terrifying. So there's part pretty early on, you have to do this quest for the janitor, and he's like, oh, you just have to toss these barrels into a furnace, right? And it's not too hard, you've got some enemies coming at you while you're doing it, but if you don't think about it, you're like, okay, just tossing these barrels into a furnace, maybe you should wonder why you're doing that, right? Why are you tossing barrels into the furnace? But I know I didn't right away. But so you toss the barrels into the furnace, and you go back to the janitor, and he's like, "Well done, good on you. Keep going with the story." But it's another one where if you read the report about this thing that you thought was just a furnace, it turns out it's like this full-on um, like hellscape demon. And basically what the barrels are human bodies, and it needs to, like, you need to keep this thing fed so it doesn't super implode the city. And so you don't know that what you're actually doing is feeding a monster human sacrifices. You don't know you're doing that. You're just throwing barrels in the thing while fighting off, a couple other regular enemies. And you never had to know. You never had to know. But it's so much better when you do realize what you're, like, what? And I think it's so cool. That's one of the things I said, that I was saying when I talked about this before, that the quest for the janitor in Control, he's kind of turned it into all this, like, wow factor stuff. He's turned it into like oh, this is a normal day in the life of a janitor. It's not you're feeding humans to a hell monster. Oh, you're just throwing barrels in the furnace. It's fine. Or like he's for some reason he's got the only walkie-talkie that can get you through this, like, maze. Like, him and the director of the building are the only ones that have it. No one else is allowed to have it. So the janitor just has, like, all the power, and it's just kind of funny that he's sitting there, like, mopping the floor. You run into him when you first enter the game. He's mopping the floor. He's not doing anything. You just think he's crazy. Like, your character remarks that, working night shifts is hard on everyone and being mentally unstable happens. Um, but turns out he's actually, like, running the show. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny because what does he say? He says has a quip at the very beginning when you meet him, where he's like, "Oh, you must be here for the janitor's assistant position," and you're kind of like, "Okay, whatever." But then you think about it, and basically he's the one keeping all the monsters in check. So essentially, you're helping him do that. So yeah, being the director is being the janitor's assistant, which I don't know if they did that on purpose or accidentally, but I like it regardless. Because the only one in the whole building who seems to, like, be okay with the way things are and all the, like, craziness is the janitor. Who just like, it's fine. Let's go, like, there's a clog in the sewers. I need you to help unclog it, and it's like the swamp thing. Yeah, he's pretty chill. He's pretty fun. He's pretty fun. Control's pretty fun. I hope I didn't spoil it for you. That was probably a lot of extra information about Control. But by now, either you've played it or you haven't. Like, a game that was totally, um, oh, 54, what can we do? Members can now brew Chef's Delight. I'm not a members, but that's cool. A game that would have been cool, however, I kind of spoiled it for myself, so I won't spoil it for you guys, but a game that sounds really cool, and you should go look at, is Inscription. It seems really cool. I feel like I wish I hadn't heard about it the way I did, because my curiosity got the better of me, and I heard about it, and I wish I hadn't have. So I could have played it innocence intact. But alas, that was never to be the case. But if you haven't heard of it and are needing a game to play, to like mess up your mind, Inscryption's where you're gonna go. Inscryption's a fun one. Hey, I can chop trees at level 15. You can now do oak trees, and members can now craft trap disarmers. Ooh. Ooh. It's fancy. A fancy little trap disarmer. Yeah, it's a little annoying because when someone hits the follow button, it pings on my so it pings, so I hear the sound, and the animation goes. I hope you guys are able to see the animation. I did not see the animation when it went through earlier, so maybe I'd check that out in a second. Or at the end of stream, not in a second. But, yeah, I don't see, because I've got one screen, so I don't see who's following me or whatnot. So I just kind of have to be like, hey, hello, who are you? Who are you following me? Well, is this guy gonna lose to a goblin? What level is he? 5? Don't lose to a goblin. You got this, Might Wish. Oh, I want a genie. Yeah, there's some, and this is the issue, is there's a lot of really good games out right now by like lesser known developers and well known developers. Like Control's Rocksteady. But like it's hard. It's a difficult time. It's a difficult time. We're spoiled for choice, you know? It's not just Mario to Zelda, right? There's so many different games out now. It's like, have you played Mystery 1, Mystery Hunter 1 version 7, Return of the One-Eyed Giant? Like, no. But just go on Steam and you can lose yourself just scrolling through the Steam store. Even if you just like put the genre that you like in there, you can be lost for hours. Not that I know, because I am a decisive individual who might need to buy more feathers here soon. Vamps and chaps. Okay. Alright, alright. Yeah, I'll watch the VOD after to see if that worked or not, just to make sure. I'm a little concerned if it doesn't. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, because I'm not sure if, like, I think I have to have the page open for it to. I think I do. I think I do. I don't know. I don't know. Next time someone gives me a follow, I'll have to just be more attentive. But, like, it works in OBS, so I like to think it's going to work. I like to think you'll be able to see it. But yeah, that's and then there are games where, you know, there just are no secrets. There aren't any. It's and they have their place too. They have their place too. But I do love hearing about good quality Easter eggs, especially ones that have been like found years later that the devs were like, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna keep tight-lipped about this until someone says it, you know? Like the one guy who put Mew into Pokemon, he knew what he did. He knew what he did. And how long before he told everyone like the proper way to get Mew, or someone found it out, right? Everyone figured out how to get Missingo right, well, not right away, but comparatively very early on. But Mew was a secret for a long time. Yeah, I guess one dude just like realized that the game, when it was finished, had like just enough space to add one more character, one more Pokemon, after they had decided not to add Mew. And so one dude was like, I think I'm gonna add Mew. Just not tell anyone. But I never, like, that's another thing. How do people figure this stuff out? So say for the Mew example, you have to screw with the bug catcher guy. Then you have to fly somewhere. Then you have to almost get in a fight with someone. Then fly somewhere else. But it's got to be like the right person in the right part of the map. And Pokemon like is small by, you know, by standards, by today's standards. It's a small game, right? Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Green. Small games. So even so, to have to be able to like to know, you have to like exit out of this conversation mid-sentence. You have to then fly to X spot. Then you have to specifically talk to this person, get in a fight, then exit the fight partway through. You know, it's how? Because there's no like there's no goalpost there where it's like you've done step 1 of 4. So how do people find this stuff? And the other ones are even more complicated. Like current gen secrets are even more complicated to figure out, right? They're just like I was saying earlier, you don't get any notification that it's happening. Oh my goodness, I did not cook the fish again. I just realized it's probably been like half an hour. And I finally realized why that guy was saying red was better. It's because I was talking about Red Dead Redemption. Then he came in. Ugh. I feel so dumb. I feel so ridiculous. That was his way of saying he was watching the stream. I get it now. I get it. Okay, my guy, if you were watching this in the future, I understand what you mean now. I I get it. It makes sense. I was so confused. I had no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, I hope if anyone is, I don't know. Sometimes I get people that come into chat and they're just like, I want to watch RuneScape, and yours was the least watched RuneScape channel ever. I'm like, okay, but you're still here, so good. You know? Like, I know I'm not doing trials or anything, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I like it. I like just being able to talk to you guys, just chilling, right? It's it's kind of it's a social stream. RuneScape is a very social stream. And that's why I kind of wanted to do it on the same day that I did, my intro Star Wars stream because I want to be social. I want to be social. And that this person is talking in Dutch. I can't be social in other games because you have to, focus, like I was saying earlier. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. This game is way more chill. Where's my music? Where's the tunes? It's way more chill. It's way more laid back. We can just talk about stuff, which is cool. There's nothing, no pressure for me to like sweat, get on my keyboard, WASD it, No, we're just hanging out. We're just chilling, right? Should I stream control? Maybe. Maybe now that I've told you so much about it. The thing is that like I don't usually 100% games. I don't usually do that because for one, it's very difficult a lot of the time to 100% game. And for two, it's time consuming because sometimes they'll require you to beat the game several times near. And sometimes like the collectibles are very difficult to find, even with a guide, right? All that being said, one of the handful of games that I have 100%ed is Control. Because I was so invested. I love anything to do with cryptids, anything supernatural, anything weird. Say less. Like, that is my jam right there, right? So for me, like, it was not a question. I was going, like, that is, if I could say I have an obsession, that would be, cryptids and the supernatural and aliens and all that mushed into one is Christmas for me. That's what I want. I want it all, right? Which they did, which was awesome. I don't want to smack things. No thanks. Yeah, put all that stuff in there. Give me so much, and then the expansion, it's like the moon landing and how Oh man, you know, just hit me with all that. That is so fantastic. So that is a game I 100%ed. Most games, especially games with like multiple run through requirements, I will beat the game and I will do, you know, a good chunk of the extra stuff that, you know, is reasonable to do. Stuff like getting all the Riddler trophies in Arkham City, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. Um, so for that kind of stuff, I would rather just like look it up online because it's just kind of, I know that's going to take so long to complete and I'm not as, I don't care about the Riddler enough. I don't care. I don't. It's a great game, but I definitely don't care enough about the Riddler to do all his stupid trophies. Um, there's another game that had a secret that, you know, was so hush hush the devs actually had to come out and say what it was because no one was finding it and it was just getting on, it was getting long in the tooth. The whole point of it was lost because I think, what was it, Arkham Asylum? I think it was an Arkham Asylum. Correct me if I'm wrong. Arkham Asylum. Why does the music keep stopping? Okay. Arkham Asylum had a secret where if you went to the police station and Detective Gordon's area, you had to put 3 gel bombs, explosives, whatever. You had to put exactly 3 of them on a wall behind his desk, okay? And there's people had tried 1, people had tried 2, but for some reason no one had tried 3. That was ridiculous. That was, you know, we don't talk about that here, right? I should chop a tree. But if you put 3 and blew them all up at the same time, you blow up a hole in the wall that would reveal plans for Arkham City. And it would have been cool because no one had any idea what Arkham City was at the time. Like, the whole Arkham franchise was just getting started. And so had someone found that before Arkham City had been announced, it would have been very cool. But no one actually ever found it. So the devs had to be like, yo, guys, it's useless now, but here's, you know, this secret nudge at where we're headed with the franchise. Yeah, it's crazy. Other games I've 100%? Let's see. I can say, off the top of my head, a game I've 100%ed, Fall Guys. Say what you will about that. I have 100%ed Fall Guys. I think one of the toughest ones for Fall Guys I had to buckle down and get my Fall Guys act together on was I had to win 5 games in a row. And that was difficult. That was difficult. I had like a buddy coaching me in Fall Guys. In Fall Guys. Like, not just 5 rounds, but like 5, I had to win 5 crowns. And this was back before, you know, like the big, you know, you can make your own custom one-off levels. We're talking 5 like legitimate runs, and you win them in a row. That is difficult. I would imagine now that with all the like custom one-off levels, it's probably fairly easy to get that achievement. Still feels good to look at though, and say yes, yes I did. I did that, you know? That was me. Life goals. Another game that I've 100%ed is What Remains of Edith Finch. What Remains of Edith Finch, guys, okay, is a story beyond what I can even describe. It is crazy. It is so well done. What's the premise? Okay. The premise is you are the last member of a very wealthy family, and you're going back to your family home after a long time, and it's a big home, and you're going back there and you're kind of revisiting all your memories and trying to piece together what's kind of been going on. And you actually relive, like you look at different family members and you kind of go through their stories, and a lot of it is just kind of like you're walking around and the protagonist, Edith Finch, is kind of talking to herself and like, oh, Mom really liked it when I looked out this telescope, or my brother Lewis had this cool room upstairs that always smelled like pot. You know, it's but that's, you know, that's most of the game is walking around the house. You're looking at people's stuff. And then every time you enter a new room, in this big ass house, you can you have the opportunity to play through that person's story from their perspective. And so if you, like the brother Lewis, you go into his room and it has, you know, his diary or journal or whatever, or like some object, one of them's a kite, you know, and then suddenly it'll give you like flashback to this person, and then you're playing as them. And for minimalistic gameplay, wow, there is so much. There is so much there. There is, holy. And that one requires multiple playthroughs to beat. That one requires a lot of interest. You have to be interested in the game. And I know that description that I just gave doesn't sound interesting, but it's one of those situations where you're gonna have to trust me. Like, I'll compare it to Undertale in that, you know how if anyone says anything about Undertale at all, how do you describe Undertale to someone without, you know, without spoiling it to some degree? How? You play as a kid. You can't even say you fight monsters because that's not necessarily what you do. You play as a kid. Whoop-de-doo. That is all I can say about Undertale without spoiling something. right? I can't say you have a friend named Sans. I can't say... Yeah, like, what do you say about Undertale that's not going to spoil things? It's a game that has multiple options. Even that, even saying it's got multiple options, I feel like that's a spoiler. I feel like that, at the very least, hints at the pacifist run. Saying it has multiple endings is not something I would tell someone. I would not say that because I'd want them to experience that and make that mistake on their own. Similarly now, go play What Remains of Edith Finch. Basically, Undertale, all you can say is it's an amazing game. Play it, come back to me, okay? And we'll fangirl over it later. But you have to play it first. And then we can fangirl over it. And you're just going to have to take my word for it, right? That's all you can say. And you know you're right, and everyone who played it knows you're right, but this new person doesn't know you're right yet. You need just like a few people to be like, yes, we all agree, you need to go play this right now. Doki Doki, that's another one. Doki Doki. Sounds stupid. Sounds like a dumb game. Sounds like a game you wouldn't want on your Steam profile, right? Go play it. Talk to me later. Talk to me in a, you know, it's not even a very long game. Yeah, people initially, when I first got Doki Doki Literature Club, and I had it on my account, I mean, my account's public. I had people that were like, so, I see you're delving into the darker side of Steam, you know, you're a little bit creepy. You're gonna be a little creep. And I had to be like, that's not the game. And a lot of people are like, sure you are, Shaggy, like, okay. But what else do you say, right? I'm like, go play it. Go play it. And they're like, I don't want people seeing that on my account. Like, are you kidding me? What do you want? You're some kind of freak? Right? And what do you just go play it? Go play it. Then come back and tell me. Yeah, because it's you know, and maybe that's just like I keep coming back to that. Maybe that's just the games I'm into, right? Everyone's got their own tastes and stuff. But the games I'm into, even just reading their description on Steam doesn't do them credit at all. At all. Because a lot of them, you know, they don't want you to know going in that there's something else. So, like for Doki Doki, it sells itself entirely as a visual novel. As like a dating sim. What? Smiley vodka? This person's confessing their love in RuneScape, which is the right way to do it. Yeah, it sells itself as a dating sim. It doesn't even, you know, it doesn't say anything about anything else because it knows that that would just ruin it, right? So the entire Steam page looks like a dating sim. It is a dating sim. It's a visual novel. It's a dating sim. And had it not gotten the hype that it got, that was a gamble. That was a gamble they had to take because there's no way to sell it as anything else without spoiling. Yeah, Shaggy spoils games. Welcome to the stream. No, these are all just games that, you know, I like games that have something else going on. Like Undertale isn't what you think it is. There are all these games that aren't what you think they are, right? Hey, level 19. Let's go. Yeah, Undertale I did, because of how short it is, I did, I think 2 or maybe all the runs in one sitting. Because I was very into the story. And I was really excited to like see what the other runs had for me. So as soon as I finished the regular like first not knowing any better run, I was very excited to see what other stuff they had because it's a small game. See, now I'm worried that even like listing games in the same breath as Undertale would just imbue spoilers, you know? I want you all to enjoy these games. But I sit here and I've got like a list of a whole bunch of games that I think are just amazing, right? But they're all those type of games. I don't want to even say them because it's, you know, I want you all to play them. But how do I play them if I don't talk about them, you know? But I can't talk about them right now because now you're going to know that there's going to be something else going on if I talk about them. It's the paradox of life. Struggles, 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 struggles. But more importantly, I want to play Among Us. I want to play Among Us. I want a good quality time. Like multiple games of Among Us. I would be so down. I have no idea who to call. I would, and you know what? Lethal Company too. I would love. I would love, like, so to clarify, I do have friends that I play Lethal Company with, right? But I would love to have multiple friends. Like, I've got some core people that I play it with, but I'd love to have some other friends, some new friends, I guess. Just because, like, my core 3 other friends, right? It's the dynamics kind of established. You get that? I'm sure you get that, right? Where it's like we all know what the role is going to be. We all know what, you know, if we're playing a shooter, if we're playing Back 4 Blood, we know who's going to be the healer, who's going to be carrying the ammo, who's going to be, you know. It's the dynamics established. I'd love to get to play with new people where a dynamic isn't established yet and we're all just kind of friends having fun and there's no set kind of way people play. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's tough because I want to enjoy these games with my core friends, and for the most part I do, but sometimes I just like, I want to play it differently. I want to play it outside the way that I normally play it, you know? And it's almost like every time you do, you get your hand smacked. And I'm just like, but what if I want to play, you know, as a different role this time, guys? Why can't I play as this character? But I think two, well, one, no one plays Among Us anymore, except for, I mean, there are some big names that play it, but I don't know. If any of those big names ever watches this YouTube channel, hey, invite me to your Among Us games because I would love to play. You know, I would love to play Among Us or Lethal Company, Goose Goose Duck, you know, like, bring me into your circle. I think that would be fun. That would be fun. I have no idea how that would even happen. That would be crazy. That would give me... I have no idea. I have no idea how that would happen. And I would be shocked. But that's the kind of level of fun that I want to have. Where it's just kind of like... you're just enjoying playing games with each other, right? There's no rules, there's no like well, you have to do it this way or you're wrong, you know? At least not from what I've seen, right? And that looks like a fun time. It looks like everyone who's playing that is having a really fun time. And that would be really fun. It would be enjoyable. I'd love to get it into that action. I feel like I've said that before, so I won't badger a dead horse, but it would be. Another game I was thinking of getting, because I just can't stop myself, is Sonic Adventure 2. I loved that game. And I recently saw that it's on the Steam store. And I was like, what? Oh, should I play it again? Would it ruin my memories of it? I saw it on the Steam store, but the issue is that the Chocobo Garden... Oh, that is freaky. Level 55, nice. Is that a player? Holy, you're scaring the crap out of me. The issue is the Chocobo Garden, which is was a classic part of the game where you could basically like raise your own little like sidekick, you know? And it was fun. But they've made that DLC that you have to buy separately. And I don't like when they milk it like that. What are these guys arguing about? I don't like it when they milk it like that. It's just a little upsetting because the game came as a one disc on the GameCube. You know it. I know it. Come on. Bring it on out, you know? Bring it back. However, I know since I'm like a huge fan of retro games, I'll probably get it and play it again. Wow, we're just smack talking each other. Smack talking. But yeah, you know. So my interests are varied. They're very all over the place. In that, you know, I go from retro to Undertale to Doki Doki. I like, you know, Persona is a good one. Although I didn't play Persona 5 Royal, I played Persona 5 like the regular one. And it was really good. It was really good. That was my first foray into the Persona series. And I was impressed. I was impressed, but I was impressed. Okay, period. I was also thrown off by just the overt sexuality. Just like not even hidden. Just not even hidden. It was, I was like, how did this get past, you know, the censor? The censor being ESRB. Like, it's not a mature rated game, I don't think. But there's a lot of questionable, to say the least, moments, and more than moments, full on like scenes in that game that I'm kind of like, are you sure this is something that that should be in a video game? I was that imp is banking. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it a lot. Great story, great characters. There's just some stuff, man. There's just some stuff in there that, like, I'm to the point where I don't know if I should mention it on stream, because I'm like, I don't want like badness coming from Twitch, but like I know that, okay, I know this has made waves before, so I can mention it because I won't be the first one to mention it. There is a monster near the end of the game, and the end of the game gets weird on its own, okay? But there is a random monster you can find at the end of the game, and it's called the it's called the Throbbing King of Desire. And despite, you know, it being a monster, it looks like what you think that name would look like. It looks super sexual. And I'm kind of sitting here like, how? How did that? But apparently this isn't the first game in the series that has had this character. And I don't know how no one cares. Because it is exactly what you think it is. I'm gonna have exactly enough feathers to do this. Yo, put my fishing roll back. Come on. Come on now, you fish a bit, eh? Give me the fishy. Give me the fishy, the fishy. Yeah, I think I came across that fight a couple times and I was like, what? It was just off-putting, but that whole end of that game, things go from like regular school kid in Japan to just freaky. Just freaky. Which I've heard is what all the Persona games do. So I guess it's par for the course there. Yeah, there's something about JRPGs. Anchovy pizza. Something about them, they are drawn to me and I to them. There was a game, a JRPG, that was ported to the Game Boy Advance, and I remember falling in love with it. It was so good. I thought it was a little known title, but then the protagonist of the first game in the series was actually put on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So obviously maybe it's not such a niche title. It's called Golden Sun, and it's such a good game. It's such a good game. It's all about elemental magic, and you know, you're trying to balance the elemental magic in the world, and you've got, you know, your characters and the antagonist antagonists who are trying to like stop you, and they've got their own agenda and stuff. And then they split into two parts, where at the beginning they kidnap one of the characters, and then for the second game, you actually play it from that character's perspective, as they kind of get Stockholm syndromed into the belief of the antagonist of the first game. And it's kind of interesting to see which side is right and which side is wrong. And because you really start to realize that, like, hey, maybe you weren't as right as you thought in the first game. Like, let's take a step back here, right? And at one point, they all merge together into one, like, giant party. Very cool. Very cool game. Very cool RPG. They actually came out with a third... Well, the first one was, like, two halves of the same game. But then the third one was, like, a sequel. A proper sequel. I did not play the third one, because I was kind of like, you know what? This game is good. Let's leave it where it is. And speaking of, I think the fact that I've run out of feathers is kind of telling me that I should probably call it. If you enjoyed my rants and stopped by, I appreciate it. If you hated my rants and stopped by, I appreciate it. I hope you all are having a great week. I'll probably stream more Star Wars tomorrow, if everyone's in love with it. I hope everyone's in love with it. I really want to. And then aside from that, I'll get back on RuneScape as soon as I can. I try not to guarantee days, but I'll try. Other than that, I hope you guys are having a great week, and that, yeah, I'll see you soon. Alright, guys. Bye.